right, guys, what we're going to talk about here today is tomorrow night's NFL game, the showdown slate between Washington football team and New York Giants. If I accidentally call them the Redskins throughout this video, I apologize, as they are now the Washington football team. So I'm just going to try to keep it to Washington. So let's just look at the things I wrote about the last couple days. Was if you're bored, wanting to play something, follow our strategy. At ceiling versus floor, very low risk strategy, attacking. We put up some stuff on our social media on how to, attack some overlay. Read our articles on how to find good overlay. We went over that. Look at the pictures below. You can see some of the overlay we found. And look for that for when we look at the football game tomorrow. But MLB, the last few days while we're waiting on football, we go over our strategy of a very low-risk lineup we like to do. These are the two from today. We cashed on both of those. We cashed on the two we played yesterday, so we're 4 for 4, which is really good. We go pretty light on the baseball, just kind of pass the time with it. Along with, we try to get some more Millie Maker tickets. Any tickets, when you're going for the tickets, what I find is they don't fill up a lot of times. So it might be based on a 60-person prize pool, giving out a ticket or two, and only 25 people play in it. And you just got to take the math and the odds on that advantage. So we'll play some double ups, go after some tickets, and for the most part, we cash enough on the showdown to cover the expense when we pay that 50 cents or $1 for a ticket, and we don't hit the ticket. So that's our little strategy. We got more in it at ceiling versus floor. Simply go to the MLB, look at the videos, daily cheat sheets on there, and we got some core 4 lineups, stuff like that we go over when we're going over these tickets. So let's talk about what we're going to get into tomorrow night on the showdown slate between Washington and the Giants. So got a little preliminary player pool here. This is not much inactive possibilities on the board right now, so this is probably what we're going to be sticking to. Got our Fab 4 in green, our 4 favorite plays. Number 1 play right off the board is D. Brown. $1,400, and he is the, no doubt, second receiver over there across from Terry McLaurin at $1,400. I just don't know how you can't play the guy. I just don't see it. Another punt play, if you want to go that cheap, is this guy right here, Caden Smith, tight end for the Giants. Just keep an eye out. Make sure Evan Ingram doesn't play. He's not supposed to. So if you don't play, Caden Smith's your other punt at $200. But, I mean, D. Brown, he's good enough to put in the captain. It'll make you fit everybody. You can put him in the flex, which is probably safer, and go from there. So now what you want to do, look at our notes here. We got everything on why we like these players. The over and under in this game is pretty light. Let's check that out real quick. It's pretty low, so that puts the defenses in play, kickers in play. Shouldn't be a shootout. These two quarterbacks aren't that good. For more information, Occupy Fantasy, great website on everything. They really break it down where we get more into what contests to play. If you sign up and subscribe to our website here, we'll get into what contests to play and how to play them with some really good cheat sheets and player pools on that. But Bet Online is where we follow our lines. Just simply, let's look at, you always want to start your handicapping for DFS on what Vegas is thinking on the line. So we got a 40.5 over and under, which in the NFL, that's pretty low in today's standards. About the lowest you'll see in the NFL is like 33, 34, and that's going to be in like a snow out blizzard game, something like that. Washington's barely favored. That's your basic home field advantage. You naturally get 3 points when you're at home, so they're -3. That's a -175. Pretty small advantage, so you don't have to stack Washington here. You can if you want. You can stack the Giants to get contrarian, but just however you feel like taking this game. But the bottom line, this is the big number. We want to play this game like it's not going to be a lot of points scored, which means the defenses are in play. I like running backs on low-scoring games. Let's go ahead and get back to our cheat sheet here, our article on tomorrow's game. So, again, I just think you got to play D. Brown. Sterling Shepard had a lot of he led out of both of these teams. He had the most target share by any player on either one of these teams in game one. He's cheaper than Kenny Galladay. Slayton had a similar target share and is very well priced. Antonio Gibson, everybody's thinking this is his breakout year. He had a nice game last week, nothing crazy, but he did control the touches and the carries. He even had some targets, as they usually go with the McKissick for pass catching situations, but it looks like they're trying to give more of that to Gibson. The only way I really look to play McKissick is if you really feel like this game's going to be a blowout by the Giants, and then maybe McKissick gets 5 or 6 targets in the fourth quarter on a comeback mode. Terry McLaurin's their number one over there. Logan Thomas is one of the better tight ends in the league. He's a little expensive on this slate, but definitely a good quality play. So let's get into the build here on some good builds. We're just going to go over a safe build. If you want to play the Millie Maker, you're going to want to, or some big tournaments, you're going to need to make a lot of lineups. If you go to Occupy Fantasy, those guys do a great job of giving you advice on how to find leverage and how to make your roster construction very unique. And that's the key to those big giant tournaments, because if you do get lucky enough and come in first place, the last thing you want to do is chop it 100 times. And that is those guys' expertise, so I highly recommend Occupy Fantasy if you want to do that. But what I like to do, let's just go to the double ups here. $5 double up right here. And let's play with it here. Typically, a quarterback is your safest position in the captain, typically, but these two quarterbacks aren't that good. I don't know if I'm going to go that route, but you certainly can. Usually on double ups, you're trying to lock up all the score, and you want to attack the quarterbacks, the both starting running backs, and whatever fits from there. But we got a little bit of a situation with Saquon Barkley and the backup over there. Barkley's just, if he wasn't limited, he'd be an auto play, but for his price, he's just not. How much is he in the flex? He's $10,000. That's expensive for a guy that's getting half of the target share. I mean, half of the snaps, or maybe 60%. It's just too much. You know, he could go off, don't get me wrong, but the price doesn't meet the reward, and we're just not going to play him. Like I said, right off the back, Brown is our favorite play. He's all in. We like Sterling Shepard. Let's see. We like Slayton. Between Jones and Heineke, that's your call. I don't know. Let's just say if you play them both, you could captain one of them maybe. So you captain Jones. And that leaves 8,200. You could play Galladay here. It's fine. And we're going to try to get the remaining salary close to zero. We're just playing double ups. That's totally different philosophy than when you're playing a big GPP, where you want to leave a lot of salary or do something really unique or crazy, because the first couple showdowns, they've been chopped so hard, you just don't want that. You're going to lose money chopping the pot, max enter in those tournaments. But again, follow Occupy Fantasy for that advice. We're going to stick with just the safe approach with this. So that's a perfectly fine build there. I do like Slayton a lot. Let's see what Slayton and the captain leaves us. Slayton and the captain, and we all know Logan Thomas is a big play. Oh, I'm sorry. Scratch that first lineup because you got to play Antonio Gibson. He's a must play. He's a must play. So that right there, you could go both quarterbacks in. Heineke and Jones. That gets you Gibson. You just have to play the Brown guy. I just don't see. I'm sorry, and I have Shepard and a flex. I think it's safer to play Shepard and the captain. And if that leaves Slayton there, and you came off of one of these quarterbacks, let's see, if you came off of Slayton, you could go Logan Thomas here. I like this a lot. I like that build a lot right there. It's a good, safe build. Let's get back to one of the quarterbacks and the captain. Let's see what we have to do for that. Because that is very safe, even though these quarterbacks aren't that good. Let's just say we went Heineke and the captain. So we got Gibson and we got Brown. That's our must plays. I think Slayton's going to be your other must play. You certainly do not have to play both quarterbacks here, as they're not the greatest. Okay, I like this a lot. This is good for safety. You're playing Heineke with a receiver. You got Gibson, a running back. You're fading the Giants running game, which could be risky. Saquon will be highly owned. But even if Saquon gets like 50 yards and a touchdown at that price point, he still needs to do more than that. So I just think Saquon's just way too expensive. So this is a build here. Makes perfectly fine sense. If you wanted to pair Jones up with Slayton and Shepard, you'd probably have to come off McLaurin. Go to Galladay. Now you got 3. It's a lot. It's a lot of receivers. That's a good tournament lineup. I like this lineup a lot for tournaments. You're leaving a lot of salary on the table, and you got all 3 of Jones's catchers. That's fine. But let's see if we go here. McLaurin. 64 just doesn't get it. All right. Let's say if we go Heineke here, 5,200. Evan Ingram is out. They already ruled him out. Okay. I do like the Giants' defense here. And the defense against the quarterback, that's okay. This isn't really good in a tournament, but this is perfectly fine in a double up. Let's see if we come off of Heineke. We want to play Heineke. Let's see if Heineke is cheap enough. No, he's not going to be cheap enough for that. I do like the Giants D. Very, very good D. Daniel Jones is very turnover prone. I don't know about that. That leaves a lot of salary. That lineup was fine, though. Let's try Slayton in there with Shepard. This one's good. I like that. Got both quarterbacks. You got Gibson. You got Slayton in the captain. It was a good price point. Just trying to go over different options. Any of the options we went over is Perfectly fine. Now, this is an option I may go with because I do like Brown so much. And let's see who we can fit here. If we went Brown and the captain, you're definitely going to want to go both quarterbacks because you're going to need to eat up salary. That's our favorite plays. Leave 700. That's a good tournament lineup. I like that for a tournament. Good tournament lineup. Leaves a lot of salary. Got a unique captain in there at 1,400. Perfectly fine to play it this way. I mean, you could use up a little bit more salary here, but I love Shepard in this contest. All right, so let's go. Let's try to do our favorite one. Shepard, McLaurin. No, Shepard's in the captain. McLaurin, Jones, Gibson, Logan Thomas, and Brown. Okay, this is probably my favorite build because you're gonna lock up. The only thing that would kill you here is if Heineke ran one in or threw it to one of these, not somebody besides these three. That would hurt. Washington's a very, the volume of opportunities goes through these three people's hands. This is the three guys. So I think you're locking up the scoring. You can still fade Heineke and get it here. Heineke could run one in. You're probably toast if he does. But even if Heineke throws 2 or 3 TDs, you're going to be okay if they're to these guys. I really see a big game out of Gibson here. I love Shepard. I love Brown. So this is probably what we'll play on the double up. And what we'll do, look at our Instagram, Ceiling versus Floor, one of our most recent posts, I think the last one, you'll see how we look for overlay. So I'm going to set this line up for maybe $5, $1. Then I'm going to set my alarm going right 2 to 3, 4 minutes before this locks tomorrow night. And when my alarm goes off, I'm going to go to the showdown, all of the contests, anything I can find, whether it's a tournament or for a ticket or hopefully a double up. And I'm just going to look for overlay. An overlay is when you, let's say it's supposed to be out of 100 people and there's 30 seconds left and you see only 70 people are in it, and it's going to start adding up. It's not going to stay at 70 for 30 whole seconds, but you get to like 8 seconds left and it might have 80 people in it. You go ahead and enter that. You're going to have maybe 80, 85 people in there. That's a 15% advantage at 85 people because the payout's based on 100 and it's already missing 15 people. That's a 15% advantage that you're already ahead of DraftKings. So that's how I like to do it, is either find contests that have non-experienced players or attack that overlay by entering contests at the very last second. So I hope this video helps. Some nice, safe builds. If you're looking for attacking the Millie Maker, make sure to follow the guys at Occupy Fantasy. And we will have a whole lot of good, juicy stuff on our website right here at Ceiling versus Floor. We'll have some more videos behind the firewall, so make sure to sign up for this, as we're going to show you the best contests to play and just how to play them tomorrow night.